All right, so we're back with the subjuntivo, the verb that gives the voice to our heart, or the one that opens doors to a parallel universe of irrealities. Every language is a different code. And these perfect codes that are languages allow us to express ourselves and to express our feelings with a lot of depth and nuance. So my goal for these videos is that you can unlock this potential and understand all these nuances and also even be able to use them. But I do not recommend that you just go and memorize a lot of rules on subjuntivo and try to remember all the conjugations and all the tenses and everything. The ability to use all these difficult tenses will come with time and will come if you approach languages as this opportunity to express and to receive new messages with different nuances from your own language. Understand the language or everything that's behind it, all these codes of messages. Explore, experiment, enjoy the language. But don't just memorize rules of grammar. Hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome back to Nuria's Lab. I post a new lesson every week, so if you're new here, you can subscribe and click the bell so you get a notification when I do. In part 1 of this subjuntivo series, we saw the presente del subjuntivo. We saw how we use it and what's behind subjuntivo, why we have it, why does it exist. So we saw what it means to say me gusta que Nuria camine versus Nuria camina. In the first sentence, whether Nuria walks or not is not relevant, it's not our point. So that's what we said in last video. Let's recap on the clue number 1 on subjuntivo. It always goes in a subordinate sentence. So it always links with another sentence, with another verb, with another action. It has 2 subjects. Quiero, yo quiero que Nuria camine. I want that Nuria walks. In this sentence, there are 2 subjects. So the one in indicativo indicates my reality. This is what I'm saying. This is my point. The one in subjuntivo doesn't. It says something that might be obvious, it might be ambiguous, it might not be currently real. We don't know. But that's not what we're saying. So we're ready to move on. Subjuntivo has different tenses. Like indicativo, it has pasts, it has present, it has future. Now we're going to see or to look at the pasts. And as I said, there are 2. And we, for now, are going to call them past 1 and past 2. To keep it simple, I'm going to give you the names and you have everything in the lesson notes with the proper names and everything, so you can download them. The past 1 of subjuntivo looks like this. Caminara, caminase. Yo caminara, yo caminase. Usually in Spain, we use more caminase or caminara sometimes. In Latin America, they use more caminara only. But I read texts where you see both of them depending on which one looks better. This is the same idea as what I said before. So when I say the sentence, me gusta que Nuria camine, I'm using the present tense. Currently, I like that Nuria walks. Okay? The past one is just the same, but in past. Maybe we're having a conversation and I'm telling you, you know what? Nuria walked a lot yesterday. Nuria caminó mucho ayer. I'm using the indicativo because I'm indicating that Nuria walked. That's a fact. That's my reality. That's what I want to tell you. Nuria walked a lot yesterday. I'm telling you. We keep going with the conversation and then I tell you, I really liked that Nuria walked a lot yesterday. In Spanish, me gustó que Nuria caminara o caminase mucho ayer. What I'm indicating is that I liked it because the other thing I already told you and you already know, so it's obvious and I'm not using indicativo again for that. So in this case, I decide not to indicate it because it's obvious. You already know, so I'm not telling you again. I'm just making a little mention. I'm mentioning it a little bit. I assume that my listener already knows. You can download the lesson notes and see many examples broken down. Okay, so far it's just the same, but in past. But the pasts of subjunctive are so much fun. We can open doors to a parallel universe where things are not entirely real. So we have our life with our things happening, our facts, our real things, como, camino, hablo. But then we open this door which is the same reality but full of things that are not entirely real. They are hypotheses, they are desires, they are fears or conditions. Let's see a bit deeper about conditions. Let's look at this sentence. Si tuviese hambre, comería. In this sentence, I'm saying, if I were hungry, I would eat. I'm not saying that I'm hungry. I'm saying that if I were, I would eat. I'm opening the door to a condition, to something that right now is not real, but if that condition became true, then it would be real. I would eat. Being hungry, it's a condition for me to eat. So we have a condition that, if true, will open the door to a consequence. So what I'm saying is that this consequence will happen, and I'm using the indicativo because it will happen if that condition is true. That's why I'm using the subjuntivo here, because I'm not saying that this is true. We cannot use indicativo here in this sentence because my goal is not to say I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. Tengo hambre, voy a comer. Okay, these two are indicativo because I'm hungry, it's real, and I'm going to eat, is real. Okay, so in this sentence, I'm saying, if I was hungry, but I'm not, I would eat. So I'm sharing something of my irreality. Does this make sense? Okay, so let's think of more examples. How would you say, if I were a millionaire, I would buy a house? Si fuera o fuese millonaria, compraría una casa. Why am I saying fuera instead of soy? Because I am not a millionaire and I cannot indicate so. I am indicating, though, that I would buy a house. I would, 100%, if the condition of being a millionaire were true, but it's not. Right now, it could be, though, but it's not. Same goes with the negatives. For example, how would you say, if I didn't drink water, I wouldn't be alive? Si no bebiera agua, no estaría viva. If the condition of not drinking water was true, I would not be alive. But currently, I drink water, and currently, I'm not a millionaire, and currently, I'm not hungry. That's why I use subjuntivo to say these sentences. But this could change. This is a condition that could be true. It's not impossible. If it were impossible, though, I would use the past number 2. Let's see that. What if at some point in the past we had 2 options and we chose one and the other one we left and we lost? For example, when I was 23, I had 2 options. One, going to Scotland to study English. The other one, going to Ireland to study English. I chose Scotland because it had better living arrangements. But what if I had chosen Ireland? Another whole universe is there full of things that could have happened, right? But will not because I didn't choose it. So let's see how to speak about these things. For example, how would I say in Spanish, if I had gone to Ireland, I wouldn't have met my Scottish friends. Si hubiera ido a Irlanda, no habría conocido a mis amigos escoceses. This sentence has a condition. If I had gone to Ireland, si hubiera ido a Irlanda. It's a condition that can no longer be true. I'm expressing an irreality in the past, an irreality that is absolutely not going to change. It is not real that I went to Ireland, so I cannot say I went to Ireland. No puedo decir fui a Irlanda. Tengo que decir if I had gone, si hubiese ido. Check out the conjugations of all this in the notes of the lesson below. So, the past that cannot be changed. Let's see another example. How would you say, if I had been born in England, I would speak native English? Si hubiera nacido en Inglaterra, hablaría inglés nativo. But I was not born in England. That condition is not true. It will never be. And I did not go to Ireland. That condition will never be true. It cannot be changed. So the consequence cannot happen anymore. Let's recap on what we've seen so far, including the present, which we saw in the last video, and the 2 pasts. So for the presente del subjuntivo, whether it's real or not is not relevant, it's not my point, it's not what I'm indicating. For the past one, it's not real currently, but it could be, it could change. And for the past, number two, is not real currently, or it will never be real. It's permanently untrue. And what the subjuntivo has in common, these three tenses of the subjuntivo have in common, is that I'm talking about things that are not facts right now. Either they're not relevant and they're not my point, so I don't want to make a fact out of it, or because they're conditions that are not true yet, or they're hypotheses or things that I cannot affirm as a fact. I cannot indicate them. I cannot, or I do not want to. It doesn't matter. In the lesson notes, I have added a text that I wrote 1 year ago full of subjuntivos. So I recommend that you download it and print it out and try to highlight some of them and make sense of it. I recommend as well that you think of some sentences that apply for you, that are real for you, and then you write them down and you practice them. Also, check in the lesson notes for all the examples that I wrote and see if those make sense for you. See if you could see those in real life. And now go out and spot them. When you listen to podcasts or anything, and when you watch videos or you do anything, try to spot those tenses. And with time, you'll start noticing it more and more, and then you'll start using it. You'll incorporate it. You will incorporate it. You will incorporate it in your speech. Well, I hope that this video was clear enough. And again, read the lesson notes because everything is more explained there. And if you have any questions on anything that I've just said, let me know in the comments. I'll be really happy to clarify them. And as always, I hope that this was useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.